Greetings, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good day, whatever time it is in your part of the world. We're broadcasting from, two of us are in the United States. I'm Dr. Ray Lindley, the Executive Director of Array Global Educational Services, and also I'm in the state of Colorado. And Dr. Jake Frankum is also here with us. He's in the state of Montana, and he is the Associate Director of Array Global Educational Services. And we're really pleased to have with us today Mr. George Makliadze. George from Georgia is the best way to say that. I stumble over his name most times I say it, and he has to correct me, but George from Georgia is a great friend of ours. And today we're going to feature the program that we have cooperated with, and we're really excited to be offering this program to schools throughout the world. And we'll talk about that mainly today, but I wanted to just give everybody greetings, and we'll talk specifically with George in just a moment. But before we begin that, Dr. Jake, would you just give us a brief rundown of the services, since we're called educational services. Obviously, one of our biggest service is accreditation for schools, but give us a brief rundown of the services that we offer in Array Global.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Ray. I'm excited to be here with everyone and with Dr. Ray, with George, and just talking about the different services that we have, and then really getting into the distance-based program that we're working with George and his company. A couple that we have several different services that we provide, and the most important one that we're promoting obviously is accreditation. We accredit schools K through 12. We accredit primary, middle, high school, national. We accredit national schools, and then we also accredit post-secondary and vocational schools. Some countries call them diploma schools. We also accredit distance-based institutions, and that's what we're going to be talking about. One of the best ones out there, Feydey's school program that George is going to be talking about. So we accredit a lot of different schools. We also provide certification services. So if a school becomes accredited by us and they specialize in some really neat program like STEM or STEAM or special education or something like that, we also provide a certification. And with accreditation and certification, we have a consulting program. So if schools need some additional help or support in getting accredited or working through their school improvement process, or they want to be a STEM program, but they just don't know how, we can help them through that process. So we have a pretty robust consulting services. We also have a professional development program that is can be done online, it can be done face-to-face, it can be done through a hybrid program. Teachers can get certified through this program, and it's a great opportunity for schools to really utilize. Another great service that we're excited about is the Professional Educators Association. We have principals part of an association, teachers part of an association that can get together regularly and dialogue, attend our professional development, our workshops for free, and really talk about some of the global issues that there are, or issues in their region that we can really work together on to improve. We also offer an awards and recognition program that we're really excited about. We recognize a student of the month every month. We recognize an institution of the month. We have a teacher of the year award, a principal of the year award. We're really excited about accreditation with merit, because we know that there are many schools out there that meet the minimum quality standards. Many of them do, but then we have a lot of them that go above and beyond, and that's where schools can be recognized with accreditation with merit. We also offer an external assessment program where students are regularly assessed online. Schools get that data immediately, and they can use that data in their school improvement process and in their differentiation. If they have students that are struggling, they'll be able to tell that those students are struggling and how to best work with those students. And then the last two things we're going to be talking about a little bit here, the one, academic Olympiads. I think at the very end, George is going to be talking about academic Olympiads, and we'll be doing another a little workshop on that and talking about that. But this is where students around the world can get together online in an amazing program, build these relationships, compete against one another, and just have overall a good time together. And in the end, there's some pretty neat scholarships that I think George will be talking about. But Ray, Dr. Ray, the thing that we're going to be talking about is an exciting service. The last one I want to talk about is the distance-based education. And we've partnered with Feydey Education to provide this distance-based program that we're really, really excited about, to be able to offer so much more flexibility to our schools and our students, especially during this COVID-19 issue that we're all being faced with, as we're all, really improving in our use of technology and getting students engaged. And so with that, I think we want to really dive in and learn a lot more about this great distance-based education program. So back to you, Dr. Ray.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Jake. As we've said, the real emphasis today is to introduce George from Georgia, to you and allow him to talk about it. It's really an important thing for us to be talking today about because, number one, the situation we face in our world today. And we know that many schools are having to operate differently than they normally would. And one of the real exciting things is that we have partnered with Feydey and George because of the LMS system that he has developed. And the other reason why this is really a pleasure for Dr. Jake and me today is we've worked with George for at least a couple of years now in both a professional, as a professional friend and as a personal friend. And the nice thing about it is we all have the same goal, and that is whatever we do, we want to help students grow and improve. And so it's a real pleasure to introduce George to you and allow him to talk about the program. And I guess maybe let me ask the first question, George. Why don't you just briefly describe the LMS system or the LMS that you have developed? How did you develop it? Who was involved? Have you done any field testing? And give a brief explanation. And then if it's okay, Dr. Jake and I will interrupt you from time to time if you say something that raises a question in our minds.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ray. Thank you, Dr. Jacob, for introducing me. I'll give you a short brief about Feydey International and generally why we develop LMS and the reasons why we develop the LMS. Originally, the first thing I would like to say that the LMS we developed already almost 10 years. It's not the product which was delivered to the market because of COVID-19 and issue in the schools because they have to manage somehow distance learning or online learning while they cannot attend the schools. So the main idea developing LMS was to improve the learning process in the school, improve the quality of the learning in the school. Because itself LMS, which is learning management system, gives opportunity to school administration to manage the school because the LMS creates more than 25 reports in real time. So the school management, administration, academic team can daily, every hour, follow up every student's goals and achievements and the gray areas what they have. From another hand, the main idea of the developing LMS and putting the K-12 content, because we created the K-12 content from kindergarten, grade 12, all courses are created. So this LMS can be very much used by teachers during the lessons in a traditional classroom at a blended learning model, which will be future of the education, because we know that the online learning will never replace traditional education, but very important to modernize and make it interactive teacher-student communication skills. The third main goal developing the LMS was to allow students to improve themselves, their own learning, to manage their learning, their way they develop the learning achievements and the time management, and if they need to go behind and cover the credit or recover their grade, they are available. So originally we would like to very much allow students to be self-confident and go beyond their opportunities in the traditional school. About how long, as I mentioned, more than 10 years, we're working on the LMS. We have an academic team in USA and the UK, and we have technical team in Georgia and India. So it's quite a lot of people were involved during these years. About the testing, up to December, we had in USA about 15,000 students, but because of COVID-19, nowadays we're already achieving 450, 480,000 students all over the USA. Internationally, we tried to test this product since 2015 in Central Asia, particularly in Kazakhstan. We used it in a two different way to give students opportunity to receive global secondary education, and we also very well were involved in the teacher training to allow international teachers to try how to teach subjects in English. So this is a very general.
George, you said something that I want to clear up in my mind. I think I understand. It can be both blended with the regular curriculum, but if necessary, and the curriculum is not available or the school is not available for the students, you can help them with the whole program. Am I correct?
Exactly, Dr. Ray, it's very important and good question. Thank you to pointing that, because you're right. Schools can use that in a traditional classroom as an additional material for the teachers and the students to use during the blended learning model, or students can, if they're not attending the school, use as a main curriculum, main courses, and go follow the subject.
You said something else that really hit me, and that is, by doing this kind of program, we know that in a classroom, say we have 25 students, not all 25 students are at the same learning level. They're not in the same place. And what interested me too that you said, George, is that it can help the student who is behind grade level, and yet it's strong enough that it can help the student who is above grade level and blend this in with the regular classroom.
Exactly, Dr. Ray. And the most important, the differentiation, the online platform, learning management system, allow teacher to give the student that level of the task which they are capable to, from one hand. From another hand, if the students have to recover their whatever they have, the missing part, they can do as well. So yes, this is a great tool for differentiation in the classroom.
So George, could you describe how a teacher would be able to use this as a blended learning model? Because we have several teachers that are watching this or will watch this, and I'm sure their question is how can they really use this as a blending learning model? And because it's a great tool that all teachers could be utilizing.
Sure, Dr. Jacob, thank you for that question. First of all, I would like to say that whenever we will be ready, we can have 2-3 minute presentation of LMS itself. We can share the screen and present the way it looks like. In generally, teachers will be recommended very much to use during the classroom about 10-15%, because the LMS allow teacher when they are describing the new task to use the LMS. B, they can use it during the lesson to interact with the students, invite them to the desk, to the smart board, to go through the tests, quizzes, and different activities in the classroom. The biggest goal of the LMS is that the LMS allow teacher to extend classroom time outside of the classroom. So originally, if student didn't got exactly what was explained during the classroom, right, then they can, again, students can go to the same lesson online and check what was done today or recover what they are missing. So teachers will be using about 2-3 times during the lesson, but it very much will be individualized. The good thing is that we have developed 21st century modern pedagogy, which allow during the year, whichever the schools will sign up for the LMS, we will be providing free teacher training program, exactly how to use the LMS during the classes and outside of the classroom. Thank you.
Yeah, your last point is an interesting one, because as we are all aware, most of the schools in the US and throughout the world have had to go to some kind of computer-based or a distance learning program. And in many cases, George, we have found, at least here in the United States, they're not trained well in how to do this. But what you have just said is that you do provide help for the teachers in the training of how to use distance-based learning, because it's not something that we just naturally know.
And Dr. Ray, this is exactly a good point to tell our customer, our partners about the opportunity that training allow teachers to properly, because the main goal is to achieve students' best achievement during as much as they can during their learning. Also very important that the LMS, learning management system, is fully customizable. So that means that teacher can add their own questions. It will be open question or the open-ended question or the multi-choice question. Teacher can add their own content if they need to improve something. Also, during the lessons, they will be taught how much they can interact with the students. So yes, the answer is during the whole year, all schools, whoever will sign up for the learning management system will have free teacher training. On top of that, I would like to say that we also will be providing teachers the lesson plans, glossary, tests, because they will have additional material beside what they already have on their own. It helps as well to make more interesting for students the already videos and activities during the lesson. But the good thing for teachers will be that having the LMS and having access to the reports, they don't have to wait end of the week or term or semester when they will have report to see what the students are missing. So teachers can immediately react if the student is behind. Teacher can immediately have information and notification how actively students involved, whatever the teacher is delivering. So that really improves teacher-student relationship.
Well, and another thing that I really liked, George, that you talked about in improving that relationship and learning is it increases the amount of learning time is another thing that you said. And research shows, educators know that time is one of the most limiting factors of student learning. And so when you can increase that amount of time after school, before school, weekends, summertime, we're just going to have better and brighter students. They're going to be able to perform better. We're going to be able to help them meet their potential. Talk a little bit about, George, how teachers, how schools can utilize this program for additional support services outside of school, after school, weekends, summer school, to help students get best prepared.
Thank you, Dr. Jacob. What I would like to say, first of all, that the LMS, which will be provided to the schools, will have one very important additional service. All students will have, and teachers, weekly webinars with the native speakers as a supporting team. It can be every day after the schools. It can be project-based learning during the weekend or the weekdays. So each school, beside all the learning material and management tools, they will have the additional project-based learning delivered to them. So originally, the schools, beside all that, they can upload teachers the projects for their own students. We will be providing, as I mentioned, not only for teachers training, we also have to teach students how to manage the learning management system, how to learn themselves. And we have in many different countries students involved in the online learning. So I can assure you that, say, for the Middle East students, will be very interesting to do joint project with the kids from the Russia, Kazakhstan, Switzerland, UK, and that will they can go beyond the borders of their school or their thinking. So that will be very important for them. So originally, during the weekdays and outside of the school, students will have 24/7 access to the LMS. Originally, we have to start from where? There will be 4 accounts delivered to the school. Students account, every student will have parents account, so parents can 24/7 anytime to check the student progress, how much time they spend on the learning LMS, learning management system, teacher's account, and the school administration account. So we can really divide in 4 different aspects. What are the benefits for the school administration, how they can monitor the teachers, how can they monitor the students. There will be different benefit for the students. There will be quite good benefit for the teachers, so they can, parents to observe the students' progress, and the teacher definitely the main players to be mediator between learning process and the student.
Georgia used a buzzword that I really like, and especially in today's world, and that buzz term is project-based learning. We all know that not all people can demonstrate what they've learned or what they know based on a paper and pencil test or something like that. Could you describe a little bit the kinds of project-based, project type of activities that might be available or the teacher might be able to use in working with students who can, you know, we all operate with different ways of learning, and some people by doing a project can learn can you describe some of those ideas?
Sure, we can. Thank you, Dr. Ray, because the main goal of that kind of project-based learning, first of all, is to prepare our students to be career ready. So as you mentioned, that many students have very good theoretical knowledge in the school, but they don't have skills how to use it in the real life. So project-based learning, which we designed, and we already running this about 3-4 years in the Central Asia. What are the main benefits? First of all, we create 5-week projects that allow students to practice debate, discussion, research, presentation, and graduation. So each project can be from different fields, starting from the hospitality, business, science, math. It can be subject-based, it can be real-life case-based. So there will be different tests, but every single project, more or less, will be last 5 weeks or 6 weeks, and it has a structure: introduction, discussion, research, debates, presentation, and graduation. Why we structure that way? Because if you pick the single lesson, during the lesson, student has to have the skills to present their knowledge, to research, to understand, to discuss, to debate. So we try to develop these skills, professional skills for the future life, because when the student goes to the university or from the university they go to the business, these are the skills what they need. They have to be able to use their knowledge in a practical real world. From another hand, as you mentioned, that very important is to be career ready. And if we give the student the project from the different field, they may never thought that they want to be architect, but they may very nicely take the art and design and realize that they have new interests in this life. So as early stage, we start with the students working on the project, as realistically they will be able to choose their lifelong profession, what they would love to. And if we also consider that these projects will be international team, because our online environment allows students to work, the kids from Egypt, from Kazakhstan, from Russia, to each other together, that will grow their knowledge and the self-confidence.
And that's what I really like about it, George, is that it provides such a global education. Like you said, it connects students in so many different types of countries and so many different backgrounds. And it becomes such an individualized education program. One thing I like that you talk about is that whether a school adopts this in their class for differentiation or for lengthening the school day, or if a student does it totally alone, they have webinars with native speakers. Do you want to talk a little bit about what those native speakers webinars
Sure.
are about and how that can really benefit these students?
Sure, thank you, Dr. Jacob. Originally, first of all, what we really recommend schools to integrate LMS for every single teacher and student, right? Say there is a middle-sized school with 500 students and maybe say 50 teachers. So having this 550 account, first of all, we allow them to integrate LMS into their daily learning style, right? They can manage the school, they can improve the learning process, they can improve their relationship between teacher and students, parents can monitor this. The very important thing is that integrating the LMS into school, that allow the school owners also deliver knowledge to the neighbor or internet or countrywide. I mean, they can grow the number of students. So during the COVID-19, if many schools really trying to resume the number of students, we may allow them not only resume the number of students, they can also grow the number of students and have as online as offline. So the project-based learning which we developed, and about the webinars, which exactly you asked me, Jacob, is that first of all, we have to train teachers and students how to learn online. So what our team decide that we don't want to separate teacher training on the one hand, student training on another hand, professional development on the third hand, right? And the usage of the knowledge. What we did, we put it all together in a one project, which we call project-based learning. And every day, teachers and students will have 1 hour webinar, which will be definitely selected particular hours because different countries, they have different time zones. But say in Kazakhstan, we had 8 p.m. by local time, which was about maybe 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. in UK. And we had British teachers every day providing the webinars. Now, this is not English language or the math or the science classes. This is a webinars which allow students to practice their English knowledge, which they already have in schools, but practice of the communication skills, discussion, debate skills, presentation skills. So originally, I don't want the schools to think that this will be lessons for the English. No, they have their own school and they provide very nice lessons, but this will be where we would like to improve the usage of the knowledge in a practical way. From another hand, definitely all these webinars based on the LMS. So we will giving them the master classes, how to learn subjects, how to work on the learning management system. Also, we will help schools to create the language environment because we're talking about the international schools. And many kids we have seen when we were on the school accreditation, there are brilliant English kids have when they speak, and there are kids who are struggling with the English. So we will allow, even in the classroom, the students are a bit afraid to make a mistake. In our environment, they don't have any fear to make any mistake. We're just giving them chance to grow, having present themselves. And you know what's happening quite often? That students which not presenting knowledge very well in the classroom, they are widely open during the project and they may even be more interesting people. And we had in Kazakhstan cases when teachers said, look, I never knew that this my student can do so much. I will be treating totally different in classroom. So it's challenge for the teachers and students as well.
That's great. George, we have a question from Ahmed in Jeddah. He's interested to know if this is a program that's created for primary grades, for kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, for primary. Talk maybe a little bit about the lower grades and how this program is for them.
Dr. Jacob, I'll take 2-3 minutes and I'll share this screen and I just show quickly what the LMS look like and what subjects we have. So maybe that makes more.
Yep, now would be a great time to do that and show us
Let me do this.
components of this pretty in-depth program.
Screen. Okay, so here we are. Originally, first of all, to tease everybody, this is our campus in Switzerland. And maybe Dr. Ray, this is a good time to say about our first meeting next year, and then I'll go ahead.
I'm really excited. I thank you for asking me because I was there last year. I can't remember, but anyway, I've been in this spot. But we're really excited to announce that Array Global will have its first annual conference in Switzerland, Lausanne, Switzerland, what you see right in front of you right now. When I was there, I didn't see all the clouds that are showing in George's photo. But we're going to have our first annual conference, and we're inviting all schools, all teachers, all administrators who would like to come to Switzerland. I don't know about many of you, but Switzerland is always on the bucket list of places we'd like to go. And the conference will be actually March 3rd through 6th. Of 2021. We're going to have some outstanding presentations, some outstanding workshops, some outstanding ways to communicate with people from other countries, and also there'll be a couple of nice side trips down into Montreux and Lake Geneva and all that. And so if you're listening to this broadcast, just put it on your calendars and we'll be getting more information to you later. But I'm really excited that we will offer this first annual Array Global conference for everybody next March 3 through 6 of 2021. And I couldn't be happier than that we're going to have it in Switzerland because it's a beautiful place to visit.
Thank you, Dr. Ray. Now a little bit back to work.
No, but we have to talk about that because I think there are a lot of people who would really, other than the educational benefit of it, would really enjoy. And I've been there. It's just drop dead gorgeous at Feydey.
And I will be very happy on behalf of Array Global, welcome everybody next year, March 3rd to 6th, on the first annual Array Global meeting in Switzerland. We will be best host for you and will be very interesting of the meeting. So now back to the LMS. Dr. Jacob, this is our LMS, Dr. Ray. You know that we developed all content from the kindergarten to the grade 12. So on the left-hand side, you can see all the different subjects. This is the student's account, which we think right now. They definitely will have not subjects all turned on. They will have like 2, 3, 5 subjects, whatever is necessary for them. And as I mentioned, that we have already integrated in our LMS, the like messenger announcement, it's all there. Also, the LMS automatically creates for school administration, parents, teachers, students, all reports. So there are some reports which we brought to the student's account. Otherwise, all the reports will be created for admins. So originally, teachers or students, they always can see what was done on the LMS during the June months or the May months when the students signed up and what exactly they worked on. So this is the first report. The another report also available, the usage. So it automatically shows that if parents many times will have a question, okay, if the student is nearby computer, are they playing games or they are working on LMS? So it automatically records every single minute students worked on the LMS. So no cheating on that side as well. So about the subjects, as we mentioned, you will see we have all English language developed. And let me present you a layout of the, why we don't say biology. So I would like to show you this sample, how the layout of the lessons itself on the LMS. First of all, we have to see that all lessons will start from the course introduction. And on the left-hand side, Dr. Jacob, you will see whole academic year program. So this is K-12 common core standard content. It's fully designed. And all lessons during the year student will learn, it's right here. So after introduction, which will be upgraded right now, we will go to, hold for seconds. This is a kind of lesson post-test. Originally, this test is already answered, but this is also a way will be designed, Dr. Jacob, the Olympiads, which we'll be presenting in August. The only difference is that on the Olympiad, there will be no content on the left-hand side. There is a time countdown here, so students can have access to their questions. Also, here you see that there is only multi-choice questions, but if the school integrates elements into their school and there will be a teacher available who can check the grades, there is a open-ended questions also available in each test. So after the course pretest and course pretest, Dr. Ray, we created that students we want to identify during the course, during the grade 9 or 8, what they have to learn. And they will be very easy identify what they are missing. So they will know what they are missing knowledge and what they will be learning during the year. Then each lesson we designed as a lesson and lesson post-test. So originally, why we created the lesson post-test, we want the LMS to check every student after every lesson, their achievement. Because in a traditional learning, it's not possible that teacher can check every single student at the end of the lesson how much they learn. Because for this, they have some kind of test during the term or semester. Here, we will have 100% information what students learn during the lesson. Because we will be dealing mostly to the native speakers, not native speakers, we also added...
Ribosome. Are ribosomes tiny protein factories? Ribosome is a tiny organelle.
So originally, students can listen all the text which is on the LMS. And the most important is that this is a not electronic book. This is a way teachers describe the lesson during the traditional classroom. And here, these settings will allow kids to change the speed of the language, right? If they have better language or they want to make it slower. Also, you will find many activities on the lesson. And as I mentioned,
Cytoplasm.
Oops.
What is the
So there will be a lot of activities what they can go through.
Drag the labels from the bottom to the correct slot.
So this is the kind of layout. Dr. Jacob, I cannot hear you.
It looks like it's very, very interactive for students. They can hear, they can click on things, they can see 3D models, they can move things around and manipulate.
Right.
It's engaging a lot of their senses.
They have whiteboard, they have the, they can make the paintings, comments, writing. This is a fully automated the LMS. So it allows teachers to use as much as they want during the lesson. And mostly students can also use this during the self-learning if they are behind. They can recover anytime their test, they can recover any credit they are missing.
Cytoplasm.
That's great.
Yeah.
Can you show us some of the different classes that are offered, grade levels?
One thing that's really striking me is if we look back to Gardner and his first start at the 7 intelligences, there are many kinds of intelligences which are addressed in this model. And we've talked about it, but all students will be able to kind of identify with the way that they learn best. And they're all here.
And they not will be depending on the teacher's decision. If they want to prove that they really want to have the 100% score, they can do it themselves. Mm-hmm. And also very important, because we're dealing with the international schools, we have fully designed SAT preparation course, which one of the most important for area global, because the students at the end of the school year in the grade 12, they have to be taking the SAT test if they want to get the high school diploma. So this is a course integrated here. Also, we
George, say that again, because that's new information for me. Preparation for the SAT, that's a big deal. Say it again, would you?
And teachers, because Dr. Ray, every single school we went last year for accreditation visit, I mean, they were asking about the courses, how to become ready for the SAT examination, but this is also good that teachers can use that at the handbook. Teachers can use at the guidelines how to improve the knowledge of the students and preparation during the classes. Also, you are familiar USA Praxis, which is teacher training courses, we also integrated here.
Yes, and we know that one of the most difficult parts of the SAT for students who take it and they've never encountered that kind of an exam before, knowing what to expect on the exam as far as the format and everything, that will help them tremendously.
Very much. And quickly, Dr. Jacob, I would like to say show the admin account as well. So yeah, to show how the reports are created, where is the admin? Here, school admin. So if you go to the school admin, which is not available for students and parents, then whoever will be in charge, they can generate and see any report 24/7. It's automatically created. And now I will show the page. This is our all Dr. Ray reports, which is automatically created. And they can have 1 school, they can have 10 schools. Originally, this will be divided for each school individual information, but the headmaster or the school administration, they can have from 1 computer all the information. And if any students needs any help, it will be immediate effect, because they will be not waiting end of the term or end of the testing period. And as you see, they can choose the period, they can choose the course, they can choose by grades. Originally, what we did, every single our school listening right now, our live, they can have this Feydey LMS presentation. which we prepared for them. So if they would love to have more information or have individual presentation, it will be great if they contact you, and then we can send all this information to them. But this is our all reports school will receive automatically.
That's great, George.
Wonderful, George.
George,
We're probably approaching the end of our time. I'm wondering, George, are there things that you wanted to share today that we haven't asked you yet, or some specific information that would help schools understand more about the LMS?
Dr. Ray, thank you for that question, because I think it will be very difficult in a 41 minutes to make somebody decision, do they like integration or not. Today's meeting was an announcement that we have developed our partnership. We have developed the unique tool, which is very good in real life, but today when it's COVID-19, it's a solution. So what I would love to ask all our partners who are listening today to get in touch with you, and then we can set up follow-up calls. It can be by Zoom, individually, so we can give more expertise to their needs, because it cannot be used for everybody the same way. One school may integrate LMS for the school management. Another school may integrate this for the creating international environment in the school and allow students to deal with the international students. The third school maybe need this because the teachers need to improve their learning material, to learn them blended learning, and to have an additional learning tools. So yes, the message is that it's not possible to answer all questions today, but please get in touch with us, and we will be happy during July, August to help you to understand the reasons why you have to integrate the LMS into your school.
That's wonderful. Let me give everybody the contact information. First of all, check the website of Array Global, and that's Array, R-R-A-Y global.org. And you'll find all of these systems. On there also, you will find an opportunity to send a message. Dr. Jake and I really are very careful that we get the messages. So one of us will get the message and we respond. If it is something to do with the LMS that George has described today, of course, we make that contact immediately, because we're really pleased about the services that we're offering in Array Global. But one of the reasons we're really pleased is check the quality of what you've just heard today. I mean, this is something that should help schools all around the world who want to improve their schools. And you'll hear us say this every time we go into a school: you don't improve schools, you improve students. And when students improve, schools improve. And we have hopefully presented to you today an outstanding system where you can work towards having your students learn, grow, and be more than they thought they could be. We're in a wide, wide world, and we really do need each other. And one of the things that George said a couple of times is we're looking across the world for the learning, because the basics of learning are very important. And I think the LMS system, which has been described to you today, is a wonderful step to help you do that.
Thank you, Dr. Ray.
Thanks, Dr. Ray. Thanks, George.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Dr. Jake. We talk a lot together, but it's great to share this with other people. And thank you all for listening today. And we'll be back again.
And
so this will be this will be on our Facebook page. Am I correct?
Yes.
And Dr. Jake will put that on there. So if you want to show other teachers, other administrators, this system, it's just to get your appetite going, because we believe once you see this, you'll realize we really can improve what's happening in our schools by using the LMS system that we have here today. So thank you all. We'll meet again, and feel free to watch this on our Facebook page, Array Global, and you watch it again and again and again, because I don't know about you, but there's a lot of information that I've heard today that I want to listen to again, because it's pretty good stuff.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.